I've been watching The Mandalorian.
Yep, just popping an episode on whenever you can.
Yeah, I'm just into season 2 now.
Wow, you've popping off, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Are you watching like an episode every couple of days?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's great.
It's amazing how much you can just watch on the toilet. If you add up all your toilet time.
Right, there's an episode in there, is there? Jesus.
Yeah. It looks incredible. I realised I'd only watched 4 episodes last time.
Oh, so you're officially in unknown territory now.
Oh, well and truly, yeah.
Yeah, exciting. So what do you think?
Well, I just watched an episode that reminded me of Dune. It was the first episode of season 2. It was almost Wild West themed.
Oh yeah, no, but Star Wars is a Western. But yeah, I'll pay that.
Star Wars is a Western.
Yeah, when I went to uni, we went to this. We were told to watch this video, or there was a lecture about how more or less every movie is a Western. Some sort of tropes. Yeah.
Okay. What's a Western trope? Oh,
Black hat, white hat is the classic trope. So in the first Star Wars, you had Luke Skywalker. He wore all white. He was a farm boy. And you had Darth Vader, who was the bad guy, and he had the black hat, which was a black helmet in this case, and a full black suit. Harrison Ford is basically a cowboy.
Is he more of a city slicker? If Skywalker was a farm boy, was Darth Vader representing the corporate interest?
I'd say so.
The Empire, yes.
Yeah. I'd say so. And it's the whole idea of Han Solo's character. He wears a vest, for fuck's sake. Like, he's basically a cowboy. There's no, yeah. Sure, there's more stuff.
Yeah, I can
in
see
there.
that. Yeah, no, good. Well, he rolls in this one. Mando rolls into town on this speeder. He goes to Tatooine looking for another Mandalorian that's rumored to be around there, and he cruises in. It looks like he's riding a horse into town. Everyone's looking at him. He goes to the bar.
Of course, he does. You just named 2 Western tropes in a row. Yep. The stranger rolls into town and goes to the bar. Yep.
And then they nearly have a Western style
bar fight.
Yeah, well, they're about to draw. They're about to go down. They got, what do you call it? We have like a
showdown
type thing. Yeah,
duel.
A duel. Yeah, they were going to have a duel, but then they decided to resolve their differences.
Peacefully.
Yes, more peacefully. And they decide they're all going to try and get this Dune-like worm out of town. There's this big sandworm thing, just like Dune.
And they're bad news bears, right?
Yeah, they're just eating people, just necking wildlife and stuff.
When he rocks up to town, does the sandworm immediately attack and swallow like half the town just conveniently? It hadn't done that for hundreds of years, but now it's really just coming right into town. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, there's a few things I've been sort of picking up along the way. Yoda is extremely... Wait, is it Yoda or not? Is this another type of...
Well, first of all, do you know where this is set in the timeline?
No, I was wondering about that today.
It's after Return of the Jedi. So I'll give you the skinny from Return of the Jedi, just so you know up to date, is the Emperor got fucking thrown down a pit by Darth Vader. Darth Vader's dead. Luke Skywalker's alive. All the rebels they're just celebrating a big win. But there's still remnants of the Empire out there.
See, I had no idea. That makes so much sense. For some reason, I thought it was before.
I can understand that because like the timeline's completely blown when you talk about Star Wars. But no, most of the new content is bridging the gap between 6 and 7, mainly because I think the whole sequel trilogy kind of sucked, and they're going about fixing it.
Well, because one of our mates mentioned a name for this thing, and then I was like, I don't know what name you're talking about, so I don't think I'm up to that. I think they named this little animal, or he said like the relationship between Mando and what was it, like something with R or something, was he said that they did that really well.
He's just called the child in the first, where you're at. He's just called the child.
Yeah.
There's no name
but this
for him.
is he's so
he's not Yoda.
Damn cute.
Yoda's
he reminds
dead.
me. Yes.
Yoda died quite recently in the timeline.
But he's of the same species.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Yep. But he reminds me of my pug in that he's got big eyes.
Yeah, he
He's
does
quite
remind me.
defenseless.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I've thought about pugs is their survival mechanism, like the way they have survived is
Right.
with being extremely, extremely cute. Because Mando is going out of his way. Like,
'Cause
what
this
was
thing's-
his?
yeah.
He must have had some deep sort of feelings towards this thing to look after.
I never
it.
got that. I never got that from like the first episode where he makes the call between turning this thing in for money, which is his job, which he's been doing his job quite successfully for some time. He's quite good at it. You know, getting bounties, bring them back, get paid. He's been doing it for ages. All of a sudden, bounty's this pug thing, right? And he goes, "No, I think I'll keep it."
He throws it. He throws his whole life away, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I never got that because I can't see inside like the helmet thing. I don't know if he's sad or whatever when he's like just. I mean, some of it's communicated non-verbally, and they do a really good job of that. But I don't know why he threw his whole life away.
I think arguably Yoda's. Oh, I'm just keep calling it Yoda because in my
you
mind
can call
I
him
think
Yoda.
the child.
People called him Baby Yoda for like years.
Yeah. Baby Yoda's cuteness is arguably more important than his ability to manipulate matter and energy with his mind.
Right.
Because this is what's getting him through. This is what's getting him to adulthood.
Yes.
And this is what's happened to Luffingham. Is
Right.
the
He
generations
manipulates.
of him, he's manipulating people with his cuteness.
Yes.
He can't do anything for himself. He's totally relying on others. And if he wasn't cute, geez, he would have, not that I'd treat him any differently, but
Yeah, it's an evolution.
yeah, this mini Yoda's pretty badass though, floating around in a pram.
Yeah, he became a dad pretty quick.
Yeah,
Just
he got the officially made Baby Yoda's dad, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, there was like an official sort of pronouncement.
Oh, he's taking custodianship.
Yeah, he became his dad.
Oh, that's nice.
Stepdad.
That would have been a nice moment.
But my other insight is that Mandalorian's just Batman.
Right.
He's got all the gadgets, he's this sort of Iron Man type superhero.
Yeah.
His parents were killed. He was taken in by the Mandalorians. Is that a Western? That's probably a Western trope.
Sure.
It's the same play. It's the Batman play.
Of course. But also, like, I reckon the series plays a bit like a video game because you're like, oh, what new toys will he buy this time? You know what I mean? Like, what's he going to add? Because he's always adding to his suit.
Yeah.
He's
got the jetpack. He just got the jetpack.
A new bit of metal.
Yeah.
He pops in a new bit of metal and it's like a big deal. Like you told me about the first episode or whatever when he gets the Beskar and he gets a little shoulder thing made out of it. But it's like the best day ever. It's like, what, man? Like you've just got a little bit of metal on your shoulder and you're like, no, this is really cool.
He gets shot in the shoulder in that episode as well, just like perfectly where the Beskar is.
Of course he did.
It's worth its weight in gold, that stuff. Yeah. What are those scavenger Ewok-y things that are on the Sandcrawler?
They're Jawas.
Jawas. In one of the episodes, they gut his ship. He leaves it for
20 minutes.
20 minutes. It's completely gutted. Everything's taken. And then he has to get all his gear back. And they want this big hairy egg that this rhinoceros is guarding, this like weird alien rhinoceros.
Because it's sacred to them or something, right?
Well, I couldn't figure that out. Is that why they wanted it?
Yeah, but then they ended up just eating it, didn't they?
Yeah, well, this is they've got all this expensive stuff. They've got a spaceship basically from this guy, right? So they got all this gear. They're going to trade all of that for a big hairy egg.
Yeah, for a big Cadbury cream egg. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just cut it open. And then once they get it, they're just slopping it everywhere, making a big mess. Like they're using their hands. They can't stop eating this thing.
You're not going to sell a ship's parts at full price. The Jawas margins are not great.
If it means that much to them, the egg, treat it with a little bit of respect.
All right. Right.
At least some portion,
that's their culture.
Portion
that's their
control.
culture. Nah, that's their culture. If they get an egg, they fucking slam the egg. That's how they roll. Get the egg.
I can see why they're struggling financially. It's insanity. Right. Like there's no like measure of like let's just calm it down. Let's take stock of what we got.
Have a little bit now. Have a little bit later.
Yeah, let's use a spoon. They're just slopping it all over their face, their hands. They're just all digging in.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was just ridiculous. And then there's this montage. Then it annoyed me that he could put together the spaceship.
Right.
So they
just
got
with
it.
odds and ends.
Just
right?
odds. Well, no, he got it all back. He got all the gear apparently, but presumably they gave it all to him for the hairy egg. Like they couldn't just have forgotten something. It's not like they're
Nah,
organized.
I'm sure they have honor.
Nah, that sandcrawler is so fucking disorganized. There's just things thrown everywhere. So they collect all his, hyperdrive and his brakes and stuff. And he comes back to his ship and everything's just hanging. All the wires are just hanging from the ceiling. And he just somehow overnight, with the help of one dude, they put it all together and it's spacefaring again. You can't
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Repair the spaceship and like fly it into outer space and be like, no, nailed it.
Any guy worth his suit of armor knows how to fix up a starship overnight. The bulletproof sort of vest is a Western trope too. That's old Clint Eastwood gets shot, throws the poncho up. He's wearing a bulletproof vest. Should have been the head. When did we stop doing that?
So did Westerns just dominate for a while? Like, why do they have all the tropes? Why do they have a monopoly on all these ideas?
Yeah, there was big Western movies, and then it became very popular in Italy. It spun off its own genre called spaghetti westerns, which are really good. They're just westerns, but they're in Italian. But it looks like the Midwest America. Like they changed nothing else except the language. But it popped off.
Is there much money behind those movies? Do they look any good?
Yeah. They look as good as the other westerns of the time. Like they were really good, made by really prominent Italian directors who may have later directed in Hollywood. Famous stuff.
ChatGPT, who is the Clint Eastwood of spaghetti westerns? I spelled spaghetti wrong.
That's all right. ChatGPT will figure it out for you.
The Clint Eastwood of spaghetti westerns is in fact Clint Eastwood himself.
Wow.
Clint Eastwood gained international fame for his portrayal of the iconic character, the Man with No Name, in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy.
Yeah, so Sergio Leone was a spaghetti western director who later directed the all of those Clint Eastwood movies.
Oh, because then it says which consists of the films A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, For a Few Dollars More.
For a Few Dollars More. They're like James Bond movies. Yeah,
1965.
Yeah.
And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966.
There you
go. Yeah. Okay, I'm only familiar with that one.
Nah, he did a trilogy, like the Dark Knight trilogy. Clint Eastwood did the Fistful of Dollars trilogy.
The Dollars
and
trilogy.
It's classic. It's just roll into town, meet the people. There's a bad guy in town as well who's causing problems for the locals. Deal with him. Chain gun, minigun or some shit at the end out of a coffin, and that's another trope. You pull a gun out of a coffin. Yeah, get the girl. You got to get the girl.
Now that you say it, that's funny about the Gatling gun or whatever, because that's one thing that I noticed, like that when the Mandalorians come to save Mando, one or two of them drop in with a machine laser gun, and I'm like, oh, there's evolution, and everyone's like, it just dominates.
Yeah, well, Han Solo's pistol is just a German pistol from World War II with a little
Walter PPK or
something like that.
Yeah.
You just went GoldenEye on me there.
Hey, and you know how I thought Lando Calrissian was back in it?
Yeah.
It's Carl Weathers.
It's Carl Weathers from the Predator series, yeah. Yeah,
I was going to say Arrested Development, yeah.
Where he plays himself as like an acting coach?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. He sort of memed himself, came out the other side, and now he's a big deal in Star Wars, so good on him.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. You got to have balls to like meme yourself like that, where you get cast in something as yourself. Ricky Gervais did it with Extras, where he brought a celebrity in every episode, and he essentially was saying, we're going to take the piss out of you. Is that okay? That's what he did to all the people.
So good.
Ben Stiller, Kate Winslet, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. Fucking hell, it's great.
Bowie?
Yeah, Bowie's in it. He sings that song.
Oh, the Fat Man.
Sad Little Fat Man.
Sad Little Fat Man, yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, Pathetic Little Fat Man. But that's great.
In one of the episodes, they're laying low in this like little rice village or something, or they bloody grow prawns or something.
This is not Extras, by the way. This is Mandalorian, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this little girl is feeding Yoda mushrooms.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, here we go. Here's the mushroom
Ah.
theory of evolution in
She's
action.
drugging him.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he had the special powers before or after the mushrooms. So there's a chance that he only starts
So whether or
manipulating
not
matter.
that is the case, it could be made. They could be made the point that the mushrooms were actually what's giving him magical powers.
All I'm saying is he was doing
Right.
fuck all, and next thing he's like the most powerful thing in the
Lock it
universe.
in.
Yeah. You mentioned his helmet before, though.
Yeah.
How does it? His vision must be so impaired out of that thing.
Yeah, you can't imagine those things being particularly tactful. No, I don't know. I don't know what he sees.
What could he actually? Sometimes you see a view of his where he is, checking out the heat signatures and stuff like that, and he has great vision apparently.
Right. So you think it's some sort of screen in there? Maybe.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't seem right, does it? And it looks so bloody impractical. Like, so in the bar, the guy sits down. I was like, "How's this going to work?" The other
I
Western
often
bloke,
thought the same thing. Yeah,
sits down with 2 glasses and a bottle of something, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. How's this gonna go?" And of course, he doesn't drink anything because he can't. There's put a mouth hole on it. Yeah,
straw. Yeah, it's a very impractical way to live, isn't it?
In this other episode, he lands on this spaceship, and this guy goes, "Hey, Mando, is that you under this bucket?" And I'm like, "What?" He just bumps into someone in the universe, and recognizes him. It's not even his face he's recognizing.
No, it's the suit.
No, but he's in new armor. It just makes no sense.
Right.
Then Bill Burr comes in.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
Remember that? That was pretty good.
So that was the Prison Break episode or something, right? Is Bill Burr on the job?
Yeah, and I think that's when I was in. That's when I think I realized I was liking what's going on.
That's hilarious because Bill Burr talks so much shit about Star Wars being dog shit, like on his podcast and all sorts of stuff. He ends up being in it. That's great.
Does he?
Yeah, he talks shit about it. He talks mad shit about Star Wars. I love listening to Bill Burr shit bitch on Star Wars, but that was before he was in it. He's still got the gig, is what I'm saying. It's great.
He's great. I'm pretty sure Moss from the IT crowd was the android or the droid driver of Mando's ship in that episode.
I think you're right.
Just one or two things he said, I was like, that is, and what a good actor to play a robot.
What a bummer though to have used him now. You know what I mean? You can't bring him out again.
He'd be a great C-3PO type, character.
Yeah, you're right. And in the IG-88 in the first episode, that's Taika Waititi.
Yes, I only found out about this the other day. I had no idea that. So he directs all of them?
No, he directed the first episode and he was the voice of IG-88 in the first episode.
Oh, so he only did the first episode?
Yeah. That's usually how it rolls. Some shows give one director the full, if it's a 5-episode thing or whatever, they might give one director the thing. But even then it's rare. They'll just have 5 directors.
I saw his name splashed around with it and then I just assumed he was the director.
I think he's directed multiple episodes though. He has. So there might be more in the future. Just have a look for the directed by at the start of the episodes from now on. Because
I skip all that stuff.
Oh, you skip it?
Yeah, I shouldn't.
No, you should. You probably should. If you're trying to speed watch it on the toilet, you probably don't have time to watch the credits.